What's good? It's your boy, Coach Joey. We are on Coach's Corner. This week's segment, you already know what we're going to get down and get started talking about. And you already know what we're going to talk about. It's Keyshawn, a.k.a. Businessman. And listen, he ain't handling no business this weekend, right? Listen, man, everybody keeps talking about the weight. My fighters coach, what you think about that? How does that work on that? Hey, listen, I'm going to give you the backside of how us as boxing teams, coaches, fighters, we all do stuff a little differently, but most of the time we're all making weight similar, right? And here's the thing. A weight cut don't just start the night before, okay? Usually most teams like to start a week out. Some teams, we like to start 2 weeks out because we like to know where we're at, right? And for the most part, as a fighter, we try to tell the fighters to be 10 to 12% off from the weight, right, that they fight in. Usually, so as an example, if your fighter's fighting at 135, we try to put them out there and keep them about no higher than 155, right in the low 150s, anywhere from 150 to 155, right? So that way, when you jump into camp, you're going to be able to get, you should already been eating clean and starting your nutrition already. And when you're training and doing 3 days, which is jog in the morning, weights in the morning, box in the afternoon, how people do it and switch up 6 days a week, you're going to be cutting that weight down easy because you've been already doing it, right? And then what happens is usually 2 weeks out is when we start cutting down the water weight. The thing is, we're not losing fat 2 weeks out. We're going off water numbers, okay? So everything in your body, we're holding water, and that's what we're really draining out of our body to make the weight, okay? We like to keep guys, it ain't a secret. It's all gyms, right? And if what I'm saying might help other coaches that don't know, or maybe they do know. I don't know, right? Usually we keep our guys drinking a gallon to 2 gallons of water while they're training all the time because each gallon is 8 pounds of water, okay? So which means if our guy's drinking a gallon of water, we know he has 8 pounds of water in him to flush out of his body every day, okay? Usually when you're really putting in 3 days and you're doing those type of sessions, you're up almost about 2 gallons of water a day, so which means there's 16 pounds of water in you, okay? That's not counting the fat weight you're losing just from eating clean and working out, right? So when you look at the situation that Keyshawn's going through, he's full of shit. There's no way he realized he was 4.3 pounds the night before or woke up the next day 4.3 pounds over. It don't work like that, people, okay? If he was 4.3 pounds the day of, that means he was probably actually 6 pounds, 7 pounds the day before, okay? So which means not only was he 7 pounds the day before, he probably was that Monday up around 10, 11 pounds still, okay? So which means he didn't give a fuck. He didn't care about making the weight because ain't no way in hell you got all the way to Thursday, weigh-ins Friday, and you're 8 pounds up. It doesn't work like that, right? So as the closer and the harder you get to your day of last water intake, right? We start from 2 gallons, we cut down to a gallon, we break everything down till by the time the last day of a water cut, right? We call it a hard cut, which means once you drain out and that's it. You take your last sip of water, you're done for the night. You don't eat, you don't drink, you don't do nothing. And you wake up and you usually lose a pound, right? So if fight's at 135, we try to at least leave the night on Thursday night, at least 2 pounds up, maybe a pound down. So that would be 137. No more than 137, but 136 would be beautiful because then you wake up, you lose a pound, you're on weight, and boom, now you're chilling. Or sometimes we like to maybe cut a little harder the night before, so maybe you can come wake up 2 pounds less the next day, maybe go get a little breakfast, feel good, you ain't starving yourself all day. It all depends what your weigh-in time is, right? Sometimes people weigh in the morning, sometimes people weigh in the evening, so your weight cut and how you want to cut is going to depend on to that time frame, right? But either way, that man knew he wasn't no 4.3 pounds the day before. He was probably 7 or 8 pounds high, okay? So, and that just goes to show the lack of professionalism. It's, you know, I ain't going to sit here and act like we haven't had fighters that haven't done their job. Listen, we all go through it as coaches and teams. And you know, good teams and coaches are trying to be accountable and make their fighters stay accountable and stay disciplined, because at the end of the day, you have one job. And your job is to be a professional. And a professional consists of making weight. Nobody gives a damn about what you can do in the ring and what you can walk out to and how you promote. Nobody cares if you can't do your job. And doing your job is getting on the scale and making sure you show professionalism by respecting the sport. And not even respecting the sport, respecting your team, respecting the people that go out there and put hard work into you every day. So this is just a thing for you young fighters, man. Listen, when you've been in this game and you've been doing it for a while, you know how it works, okay? This ain't amateur. This is professional, right? This is all you do. This is what your job is. And being professional goes from discipline of eating, how you train, how you're managing your weight, what you're supposed to be doing to do your job, okay? And a lot of you fighters got to understand it is your responsibility. Not the coach, not your mother, not your wife, not your dad. It is nobody's responsibility but yours to do your fucking job, okay? Which is, this ain't your first rodeo. This ain't the first time you weighed in. So you know what you're supposed to be doing, okay? And the problem is, you know, these guys, you get to a level and you think you don't got to be accountable. Or what happened like Keyshawn. Keyshawn tried to be slick and try to think, man, fuck that weight. I ain't going to care about that weight. Because that's exactly what it really was. He didn't give a fuck about that weight. I don't care. I'm gonna pay it, and we still going to fight. Well, I'm glad they pulled out, because it's going to teach a lot of these guys that are doing slick shit like that no, the fight's off. I don't care about that money. I still weighed in, so I'm going to get a part of my purse regardless. I'm good. I'll move on, right? And to people like that, now you fucked up the whole card. You just showed that, can I trust you? Can I put my name on you and bank a show around you with you being this irresponsible? So it's not that you just let yourself down, you let everybody around you, you know what I mean? And to be honest, there should be fucking consequences for that shit. He should be fined for that shit, because it was a title fight. There has to be something that splits it from every day. And I'm not saying even if you missed weight on a regular fight, you know what I mean? We've done it, and it's not something, it's not cool. It's embarrassing to everybody. You got to walk around and be like, fuck, man. You know, because you know better than that, right? But that just goes to y'all fighters, man. Do your job. Do your job, and you ain't got to worry about dumb shit like this. You understand? Coach's Corner, Coach Joey, we out of here.